All right, guys, welcome to the show. So it's been a while for us. We have not been able to get together. Sadly, we've had an issue, or at least I'll say I had an issue with just some sinuses and stuff last week. Not COVID, had COVID. This wasn't COVID. Just some, sinuses, changing of the seasons, not much fun. So it wasn't really up to recording last week, but here we are. We're going to get to play a lot of catch up. But hey, across the screen from me is my boy JJ. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great.
Excellent, man. I'm glad you could join me. I know you enjoy getting to do this and taking your
Four
pot
in a
shots at
row.
Uncle Chris.
4 in a row.
4 in a row, but that's all right.
When he's not sick, come back and do your job.
Something like that. Yeah, hopefully he'll start to get feeling better soon. He's been under the weather, sadly, but hopefully he'll be good to go soon. So, hey, before we get into, because you and I, we're going to play a lot of catch up because it's been 2 weeks since we've been able to record. So a lot has happened. NBA trade deadline, NFL free agency has started. The NCAA tournament, March Madness has occurred, and it's we're into the Sweet 16 as of today. But there's just a lot of stuff going on. But before we get too far into this, I want to make sure we get the important stuff out of the way. Okay.
All right.
So we have to make sure that everyone understands that when you and I did the NBA All-Star Draft, we took our team and did our own draft. I definitely had the better draft, taking LeBron and Steph Curry and Joel Embiid and those guys. Oh, I had the better draft without question. I had the better team without question. If I have to, I'll go pull up the records right now so we can discuss who had who and all that kind of stuff like that. Do I need to do that?
I can pretty much remember the majority of who I had.
Yeah,
you had. I still think I had the better draft.
There's no question that I had the better draft, dude. I had the best player in the league on my team. That was LeBron.
I also think 2K is inaccurate.
Oh, well, see, that's what I was trying to tell everybody is that we put those rosters together on 2K because we said we were going to do it. We put it together. You and I played head to head on 2K. Who owns 2K?
Both of us.
No, I don't have it. James has it and you have it.
You use it.
Nah.
Off of James on yours.
So you have the game, and yet this old man went in there with his better team and beat you.
By 4 points. So maybe that's saying something.
By 1 doesn't matter. Win is a win, baby. Win is a win. What are you talking about?
If Giannis doesn't miss a layup, I think I win.
Giannis missed a layup.
With Steph Curry in his layup, it was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Steph Curry, his amazing defense stopped. That's what everybody needs to know, okay? That's how bad your 2K game is, or
I am terrible at 2K.
I just had the better team by far.
I'm terrible at 2K.
Whatever.
But that's so true.
I just wanted everybody to know that we played head-to-head and I won. So there you go. That's what's up. So, yeah, JJ and I are rocking the shirts today. I can't really show it very well, but we actually have, some shirts for a little bit, yeah. So we
that red spot.
Make those for us. It was a nice gesture from them to make those. Yeah, yours has a pizza stain on it. Fantastic. Thank you for showing the world your pizza stain.
The first day wearing it.
Yeah, first day wearing it, you get a pizza stain. It's fantastic. All right, so look, right now, we'll just have to go ahead and admit that this show is probably going to be so long we'll have to cut it up into some segments. So the first segment we're going to hit today, we're going to talk about the some what's going on with the NCAA. All right, so we know we're in March Madness. Today the Sweet 16 is happening. We've already seen Loyola Marymount lose to Oregon State. I'm trying to see who else is playing at this moment. I'll be honest with you, I have not kept up with it well enough. My bracket
blown by so far.
Do what?
This is blown by so far.
It is blown by
so many fast. Upsets.
Okay, so let's see. All right. So I was about to look at the wrong part. I was seeing Mississippi State and Louisiana Tech here on my sheet of scores, and I'm going, they're not in the Sweet 16, but that's the NIT. All right, so far, 2 games have already been played. So Baylor beat Villanova. Baylor's moving on.
Hey, I called that.
Did you? Okay. Oregon State beat Loyola. No one. I want to know who the person who had that game called Oregon State and Loyola, because I know for sure I did not have that. And then right now, Oral Roberts is playing Arkansas and has a 4-point lead with about 4 minutes to go. And then Syracuse and Houston. I'm about to say Houston.
Houston.
Yeah. Houston will play later on tonight.
I
I'll be
hope
honest with
Oral
you.
Robert.
I have not kept up with it whatsoever. I still hold firm that Gonzaga is probably going to win it all. If Gonzaga does not win it, I will be utterly shocked.
If they don't win it, I want Oral Roberts to, because that would be
Absolutely.
amazing.
Absolutely. That would be amazing
I've never heard that school until
to see a Christian school get that far and win. That would be amazing. So, yeah, I'll take that. I won't pretend like I'm paying very close attention now because I'm extremely biased when it comes to college basketball. Once Carolina was out, I kind of just quit watching. And ever since Carolina got out of that tournament, everything seems like it's just gotten worse for them. So let's discuss that for a minute, okay? So what we've seen since the season has ended, the 5-star freshman who looked like had a very promising future in Walker Kessler, who played pretty limited minutes this year, he has decided to transfer. There's a few rumors of where he might go. I've seen Michigan, Tennessee, Auburn, Kentucky. I know Duke has called, but I don't think he's going to go there. There was also a rumor at one point about him possibly going to Gonzaga. I don't know. There was one rumor that he's got a friend of his, a really close friend that apparently is either currently at Auburn or considering Auburn or something like that, and that he might end up going there trying to team up with his best friend. I can't blame him for that. I am highly, highly, highly disappointed that he left Carolina because, I mean, he came on strong at the end of the season. So I didn't get the reason why he left. I still don't understand it. Hopefully, maybe one day we'll get a better understanding. I know that he said it was something he felt was right for him. I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm not trying to judge the kid. I just know that if you're going to a school that develops big men, there are few schools better in America that develop big men like Roy Williams. He hasn't done great with the guards as of late, but you know he's put a couple in the NBA. I can't say too much about that. You know, Kobe.
Yeah, but recently the people who go to the NBA aren't the best.
Kobe White's playing fantastic. You can't say that. He's doing very good.
Everyone else?
Cole Anthony's doing very good.
Everyone else?
Who, JJ? Name
Are
one.
we just including guards?
That's what you just said. The guards that he sends. So name
I said
one.
everyone else.
Who? Be specific.
Every player to come out of Carolina to go. Like,
okay. Obviously, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Justin Jackson.
Yes, he's a role player. Cam Johnson's also a role player.
Tony Bradley.
It just got traded after he was finally getting minutes. He didn't get used in Utah. He was backing up Rudy Gobert. He was blowing it up a week ago when Embiid went out, and he was having an unbelievable, like a career breakout year. And then he just got traded to OKC. I mean, literally
just OKC.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that trade.
He just got traded. So Roy's developing players. Tony Bradley left after basically being a sixth man off the bench. He never even got a chance to truly star at Carolina. He was like the last pick of the first round the year he came out. So he didn't even get a chance to fully develop there.
What year was that?
It was just after the last championship. So what, 17? Yeah.
Something like that.
He won. He was there for the title in 17, I believe. Okay, so I think so. Or maybe it was the year before. And then we had Day'Ron Sharpe has decided to go pro. Had an unbelievable freshman year. Showed high motor.
A good move.
Yeah, he showed a high motor, and you know he had to capitalize on that while he could, because we've seen when you don't do that, like James Michael McAdoo did that year, to where he looked amazing, looked like he could go first round, and then he ended up staying, and his stock fell to the point where he wasn't even drafted. So it's probably a good move on Sharpe's point to capitalize while he can, because the NBA is all about basically what you look like in the future, not what you look like now. Basically, you have to show you have some promise, and if you stay too long, they figure you out, and then you don't get drafted very high. And then also we saw Sterling Manley is going to graduate, and he is going to transfer out with 2 years remaining. He's going to go find somewhere where he can play more minutes. So Carolina
That's also probably a good move.
I don't know, man. If he's healthy, he's very talented. Very talented.
We could use him.
Oh, we could have definitely used him this year. The problem is can he stay healthy? So I'm hoping that he has tremendous final 2 years of college. I hope he gets a chance to blow it up wherever he ends up. I really do. I hope he finds a place where he can get a lot of minutes and a lot of chance to show who he is as a player, because he didn't get a lot of that at Carolina. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that he stayed injured. I mean, he basically missed the
Yeah.
last 2 seasons. So we also saw that Caleb Love has decided to return. I'm very excited about that. We definitely need him. I know you're not a Love fan for some reason.
I know we need him, but he can't shoot.
Well, that's not his job. His job is to
But
play
he,
point guard,
but
not
he
shoot.
acts like it.
No, he doesn't. He shoots
He
when the
shoots.
offense requires it. Now, did he have drives at the end of the season that were kind of a bad idea, especially the game against Wisconsin where he was driving in on 3 guys? Sure, but he was trying to make something happen because basically they sucked that game against Wisconsin, the entire
He
team.
looked so good in the beginning. Didn't he look like an average player
Well,
throughout the rest of the year?
it,
Unless we played Duke.
it's called development. He's learning how to develop. So he only played 1 year of college. We'll see how he does. So we know he's coming back. Hopefully everyone else is coming back, but we're still waiting on word for Baycott, what he's going to do, if he's going to decide to go pro or if he's going
Go
to come
pro.
back.
Go pro. His draft stock's gonna fall.
Right. Well, it would be a smart idea for him to just go ahead and go pro. But we'll see what he does. I have no understanding as to why he would come back. It would not benefit him NBA wise for him to come back, but maybe he just wants to. I don't know. And then technically, the seniors, Brooks and Playtech, potentially could come back. You know, the NCAA has given an extra year, so in theory they could come back. I Unless you just really, really love playing at Carolina, I have no idea why they would. There's no question in my mind that neither one of these players is an NBA caliber player. They're just not. Garrison, I appreciate him so much for the 4 years that he's given Carolina.
He's been great.
He came in when Carolina was under the cloud, under that investigation. The NCAA let that drag out way too long. That was the punishment that they tried to put on. Carolina was holding that cloud over them so long because they knew they had nothing else. So they tried to do that. They forced that issue. So Garrison comes in. He decommits. I can't even remember where he decommitted from, Auburn or something like that. He decommits from there and he decides to come to Carolina when a slot opened up, and he jumped on it. And he came in and he played 4 fairly solid years. He came in as the ACC preseason player of the year. Definitely did not live up to that. That's kind of it's a high mark to put on to somebody. They did that because his numbers last year were so good, but his numbers last year were so good is because they didn't have a lot of talent. I mean, let's just
we didn't have a Daron Sharp.
No, we did not have that. He had Baycott with him, but Baycott played decent last year, but he wasn't amazing last year. But he was much better this year. He was definitely the heart and soul of that front line. So unless Brooks is hoping to improve his draft stock, which I don't think there is any, he's about 6'9". He's not a guy who can jump out of the building. His jumpers average. He plays a little too soft, in my opinion. Especially at the end of the year, he played way too soft when he would be going to the rim. He was not going hard, and because of that, he was shut down easily. So I do not believe that he has any potential for the NBA. Obviously, Playtech does not, but both of these guys could potentially, try to go to Europe and make a few bucks while they still can.
Yeah,
That's if I was Brooks, that's what I would do probably.
I'd stay this final year.
Unless he just, loves Carolina that much that he wants to play an additional year. But I just think that they both will probably leave. So that means that Carolina is going to be looking hardcore at some transfers, because we're going to definitely have to find a minimum of one more big man, or we're going to have to go to a whole different style of lineup, which I'll be honest with you, I'm not utterly opposed to. Kind of a lineup that we've seen Duke go to more the last few years, which is a 1 in 4 out style where we're running one big man and maybe 4 guards. We saw that a while back when James Michael McAdoo was running. Basically, he was the 5. He's at the size of basically a 3 as far as his height and weight. He was 6'8" and running a 5, and he had a very up-tempo style. They had PJ Hairston, who was a 6'5", 220-pound guard who was basically playing the 4, and we ran it on people. That we put a hurting on Duke in Cameron that year because we spread the floor and we were shooting so well. I'll be honest with you, I would not be opposed to that. Think about that lineup on the floor at one time, JJ. So you got say you got RJ Davis, Francis, Caleb Love, Leaky, and we'll say Baycott's back at the moment, and you got Baycott at the 5. Okay? So
Leaky can't shoot.
No, he can't shoot. But he also is not going to bang in the post, which means he's going to spread it out. He's going to stand in the corner because that's a shorter 3-point shot. You put him in the corner. You put Francis in the other corner. You've got Davis and Love at the top, and then you've got Baycott in the middle. Okay? Now this is completely against all Carolina's current offense, the same offense they've been running since Dean Smith was there. It'd be great to update that at some point to look more like the 20th century.
Yeah.
Okay? I would love to see more of an updated offense, but say they go that route and we do 4 small, 1 big. Now, if they collapse and double team on Baycott's got 4 guys he can pass to, and their job at that point is either to drive and create, or their job is to hit an open jumper. Now, I know that Francis is a marginal shooter. He's getting better. Davis is a good shooter. Love is streaky, and Leaky, he's not a good shooter, but
So you switch Leaky and put him like Walton. What was his name?
Kerwin Walton. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Say you play. Yeah, it's a good point. I should recant my statement. You don't start Francis. You start Walton. Walton's you absolutely should start Walton without doubt. Kerwin Walton, put him up at the top. Love in a corner or something like that. I mean, you could definitely have some shooters right there, but you have to play Leaky just for his length and his defense to play against the 4. You can't put Walton playing against the 4. He's too small. But I could see that potentially happen if they're not able to land a few things as far as transfers. I'm not even sure what's available. I know I saw a big man from Wisconsin has decided he's going to transfer, but I don't know what that does for us. I don't know if he's a guy that we're interested in. I have no clue. As far as I know, there's no unless someone else knows about it and they could let me know. I don't know if there's a site that has just guys in the transfer portal. If you can see the site that has the transfer portal, so you can see kind of who's out there and available. Because I would love to look at that just to see who's transferring. I know Duke's got 2 guys that are transferring and leaving. Michigan State was pretty excited to get some sort of point guard that was transferring that apparently everybody wanted, but I don't know. All right, so that's kind of what we have going on. We're very biased when it comes to college basketball. We love Carolina and not anybody else. So if it's not Oral Roberts at this point winning it all, I almost don't care. Right?
I'm cheering for Oral Roberts.
Exactly. So let's go to the NBA. So we just got the trade deadline just occurred. So we're just gonna hit a few of these trades. There were more trades that happened this year, from what I understand, than in the last 20 years at the trade deadline. It was pretty ridiculous. Okay, so I'm gonna just name a few, and you tell me what you think. Okay. So the Nuggets trade for Aaron Gordon. What do you think about him being on that roster with? So say he's starting. So what's the roster there?
That would be Murray. There's Porter.
Yep.
Junior, there was Millsap and Jokic out, and they traded Gary Harris.
They traded Gary Harris, so I got no idea who
so I don't know where Gordon would fit in that.
He's probably going to play the 4.
So you're going to put Porter at the 2?
No, Porter's at the 3. So you're probably going to have to add another guard. Millsap's probably going to be coming off the bench at this point. That's just where he is career-wise.
I think Millsap's better, to be honest.
No, not at this point. There's no question he's not.
I know he's super old, but I don't think Aaron Gordon.
I don't want to use the word super old because he's definitely younger than I am. I definitely don't want to use the word super.
All right, fine. He's Al Horford. He's coming to the end of his career.
Yeah, that's still hurtful. You mean? All right, so the Celtics, they get Evan Fournier. They give up Jeff Teague and 2 second-round picks. I think that's a pretty decent pickup for them.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I know that Kimba and Marcus Smart are still going to start in the backcourt, but bringing Fournier off the bench, as far as like a shooter off the bench, I think that's a good move. The Heat get Victor Oladipo, giving up Kelly Olynyk and Avery Bradley. I don't think that's a bad move. I know it's a rental because Oladipo is going to be a free agent. So we'll see how
If it
that
can
goes.
turn their season around,
Yeah, maybe.
they need it.
I saw Jalen Rose said that he now thinks that did he say that Heat were favorites in the East, or like maybe his favorite team or something like that? But I don't agree with that at all.
I think Philly. Philly
Yeah,
looks good.
if Philly's healthy, they've looked really good this year.
Doc Rivers.
Yeah. JJ Reddick gets traded from the Pelicans to the Mavs for basically a handful of guys and cash. If he can shoot, he's definitely getting to the tail end of his career. This one surprised me. The Clippers traded to get Rondo. They gave up Lou Williams, so they gave up the scoring off their bench to get the leadership.
I like that one.
Do you? Why?
Rondo was a very good defender.
He's a very good defender, and
I think that's a great duo. Beverly, Rondo, same lineup.
Nah,
but neither of them can shoot.
That's what I was about to say. You got two guys right there that neither one of them can shoot. Just
use Paul George. He might make it.
Okay, so three guys that can't shoot. Whatever. You know that if you've listened to the show at all, you know that I am not a PG guy.
Neither am I. But I
mean, Rondo brings the leadership that Kawhi Leonard has definitely not brought to the table. Kawhi Leonard has shown that he is definitely not a leader. He's just a good basketball player, so they had to bring in a guy who actually runs.
He's the quiet guy in the room.
Do what?
He's the quiet guy in the room.
Yeah, but
that's not your leader.
Yeah, but you're paying him the kind of money like you pay a LeBron. So you're expecting him to be like a LeBron as far as leadership on the team. That's when you get paid the most amount of money on a team, you are expected to be the leader. I think that's fair. When you pay,
man, I guess so.
All right, so I'm gonna use an NFL reference here.
All right.
Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, they're the highest paid players on their team. Would you not consider them to be the most influential leaders in that room?
I mean, yeah.
Exactly.
To me, I think of it as age. I mean, they got more experience.
Who?
Well, Rondo's a lot older than Kawhi.
Yeah, but Rondo's also got championship pedigree. He's won a couple. I mean, he was the starting point guard for the Celtics that year. They beat the Lakers and won the title.
Yeah,
and then
more
he just won last year with the Lakers. So he's got the leadership that they're looking for. JaVale McGee goes to the Nuggets for a guy that I've never heard of. So that's just a move where the Cavs were trying to capitalize and get a couple second rounders, and JaVale goes to a contender. So that's pretty good. JaVale. This is a 3-team trade. So there was a trade with the Bulls, the Celtics, and the Wizards all at once. And let's just go ahead and say that every guy that's listed in this trade does not matter, except for the Bulls get Daniel Tice from the Celtics. I was kind of shocked about that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked. The Celtics got another shooter in Cornette and maybe a stretch 4 with Wagner. I don't know. But the rest of the guys are inconsequential. I saw that my Hornets traded and got Brad Wanamaker from the Warriors for a second-round pick and I think maybe some money. But I think the Warriors also sent a second-round pick to the Hornets, so we'll see how that goes.
That's fine.
But that move is all about the fact that LaMelo broke his wrist and could be out for the rest of the year or maybe up to the playoffs. Oh, yeah. Ooh. I'm very upset about that. That was my Rookie of the Year pick, and he was definitely winning Rookie of the Year.
James Wiseman.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Bandwagon Warriors fan.
Hey, I just want to say, on that video with me, you, and Uncle Chris, we all picked our draft picks. I got the most right with one.
You got one more right pick than us? Oh, no, wait. Are you saying that none of us got a pick right except for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
You have LaMelo and Anthony Edwards glitched. Except for you. You put in Ngakwe.
I did, man. I bought into the hype. That he was going to be flying up the draft stock, and he ended up falling, I think, a little bit, and ended up going like 5 or 6 and going to Atlanta, and haven't heard from him since. But it is what it is. The Blazers trade, they get Norman Powell. The Raptors gave up Gary Trent Jr. and Rodney Hood. I was a little surprised by this trade. Now, at this point, Rodney Hood is literally just.
Okay, Rodney Hood I can understand, but Gary Trent looked all right.
Yeah, well, he played great in the bubble. So I don't know what happened, but Norman Powell apparently has been playing good. And there was already a joke running on Twitter where I guess he played his first game for the Blazers, and they were already talking about retiring his jersey because he did that good in his first game. I'm like, man, that is such a fan move. Oh, so glad we got him, but whatever. We'll see how that goes. And then another big trade. There was an absolute fire sale going on in Orlando. Orlando gets rid of Fournier, Aaron Gordon, and then they get rid of their best player. They trade Nikola Vucevic, and then they also get rid of Al Farouk Aminu, and they send him to the Bulls in exchange for Wendell Carter, Otto Porter, and 2 first-rounders. I get it from the Bulls' perspective. Zach LaVine is playing like a monster. They finally look like they could be a playoff team. Lauri Markkanen might be playing halfway decent for the first time in his career. Might be finally living up to the hype.
Vucevic might be his replacement.
Who's that?
For Lauri Markkanen. Vucevic might just replace him.
He's not going to replace him. Markkanen's playing the 4. He's a stretch 4. Vucevic that's how they've been playing Markkanen his entire career, is a stretch 4. So, but now you've got both Vucevic and Markkanen up there as your front court. They can both shoot the 3. So now
that'll be solid.
Yeah. So now you got Kobe White, Zach LaVine. I don't even know who else they have on their squad at this point. I'll be honest. I wish I could tell you I knew the Bulls roster that well, but that was a great trade from their point. Shout out to the Magic for cashing in while they could, getting rid of Vucevic while they could.
Yeah.
Getting two more first rounders. You know what I'm hoping? I know that they got Wendell Carter, and Wendell Carter's going to play some minutes without question. He's earned his minutes. I'm hoping we can finally see Mo Bamba. I mean, they wrote a song about this Joker. I want to see Mo Bamba actually play. I want to see him actually on the court. I know he hasn't been completely healthy his whole career, but I want to see him out there actually doing something and providing some minutes and showing everybody why he was actually drafted. So I got to get your take, man. Your team. You're a bandwagon guy. You're a Warriors bandwagon fan.
I would like to say before 70-39. Before 70-39.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. So you're saying you were a fan of them before they set the all-time win record, single season win record.
Before.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But not until they started winning championships, right? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't understand the statement or question.
You didn't become a fan until they started winning championships.
I don't know. It's been a bit.
It's been a bit. I hear you.
I don't remember last year.
Your Warriors are sitting in 10th place, 22-24. Steph Curry's missed the last game, is going to miss another game Monday.
Missed the last 4.
Yeah. So I know that they're missing him right now. Wiseman may be the future. They may try to do something.
He looks good.
They held on to Oubre. I was kind of shocked by that. So they held on to
right.
Oubre. Wiggins is playing. He's playing okay.
Curry
when he's healthy is amazing. So they're definitely pushing to try. If they kept Oubre, they're trying to make the playoffs this year.
If we make playoffs, Curry for MVP.
He's definitely not going to get MVP, but I get what you're saying. I know that they changed the playoff format. They have a play-in game. So
I saw that.
They're in the playoffs now as far as in the playoff game at this moment. So look, maybe they can do that. My Hornets are sitting at 4th in the East. Now, if they were in the West,
lucky you.
Let me see this.
Let
me look at East. They're 23-21, and they're sitting at 4th in the East. If they were in the West, they would be the 8th place team. They would push the Spurs out of the playoffs.
I think you go farther than that. I think you push the Lakers out too.
No, the Lakers are still sitting at 4. They're 29-17.
Wow.
LeBron hasn't missed that many games yet, but that's actually going to be a factor. They were pushing to get Kyle Lowry, and they weren't able to get him. They wanted him for some reason. 35-year-old point guard.
don't like Lowry.
I'm not a big Lowry guy either, but he did help Toronto win a ring when Kawhi was there. So I know the Lakers were making a push for him, but I also know the Lakers are now trying to push to see if they can land Andre Drummond, just like everybody else is trying to land Andre Drummond right now, because he's going to be a buyout, and I know he's getting wined and dined. If he has not already been bought out, that's going to be a thing. But I'm hoping my Hornets can string something together to actually make the playoffs for the first time in like a while.
Since I've been born.
Amazing. And then, as we were starting to record this, Chris texted me and said that Lamarcus Aldridge has been bought out by the Spurs. We knew that was coming. We knew it happened. But instead of signing with the Heat as expected, he has instead signed with the Nets.
Super team.
I don't know. It's an aging super team. So you've got Blake Griffin starting at the 4. DeAndre Jordan. Yeah, DeAndre Jordan starting at the 5. Now you got Lamarcus Aldridge coming off the bench. I'm not sure what you can provide for them at this point. So that's kind of it's a interesting setup. But as Chris in his last text to me about this, Lamarcus is ring chasing. I mean, that's all this is.
Oh, guaranteed.
Yeah, which I don't blame guys when they accept a buyout in this kind of a situation.
Yeah.
You should definitely put yourself in any sort of situation where you have a chance to win a championship, because otherwise, what's the point? You're getting paid. I mean, you're getting paid. He's already received.
He's rich as can be.
He's made money. Now, granted, if I had a chance to make more money, I would make more money. But if I could also have a chance to make more money and win a ring, that's what I would want to say.
I did it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to be able to say that happened. So that's kind of what we've seen going on. We're very biased as far as our sports coverage. I won't argue with that. We only cover football and basketball. I don't know enough about baseball. I'm not even going to try to argue with you on anything as far as the rules or understanding of hockey, because I just don't get it. I want to see the Hurricanes win. Sure.
Go Wayne Gretzky.
Oh my gosh. There's an old reference. But so now we're going to jump over to the NFL. Okay, so since the last time we were able to get together and talk, I had what I refer to as a Patriots therapy session, where I discussed how frustrated I was the fact that the Patriots decided to re-sign Cam Newton for a 1-year deal. Thank God it was only a 1-year deal.
That makes me as frustrated as my brother does.
Yes, I'm not a Cam guy. I never have been, but I will say this.
Sir fumbles a lot. Get on the bench.
What?
Sir fumbles a lot. Get on the bench.
I don't even know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with that.
Your face is worth it.
He fumbled one time in a game that we lost, but I get what you're trying to say. All right, so let's just run through a couple of these highlights of who signed where, because Will Fuller signs with the Dolphins, giving to a downfield weapon. You like that one?
Yeah.
He needed somebody.
Got out of Texas.
Yeah, good for him, right? Now that the fiasco happening with the Texans right now, with the charges that are potentially, which is I don't even want to like.
Those are crazy.
I don't want to talk too much about that because we don't know all the facts. I will say it's interesting to me that right now all the charges, I can't even say charges. They're not charges, they're lawsuits. So there's a big difference. So far, what's happening to Deshaun Watson, it's people suing him for money, not people suing him to put him in jail. There's been no formal charges by the police. So that's all this is. It's 20 different women have come out and filed criminal not criminal, but civil lawsuits against him. And I'll be honest with you. Look, if this is true,
go to jail.
If it's true, and he's been sexually harassing women, I do believe he should get in the trouble for it. If this is not true, I believe that the people
Send those women to jail.
I believe somebody needs to get in trouble. But we're not going to dabble in that. We're not going to talk about that because we don't have all the facts, and it's not right to talk about something when you don't know all the facts. So we're going to bypass that part. So Kenny Golladay signs 4 years, $72 million with the Giants, giving Daniel Jones a receiver finally since they got rid of Odell Beckham. You like that one?
I guess. Because all we really had was Golden Tate, and
They don't have Golden Tate anymore.
Oh, well.
So
You
Kenny
got
Galladay's
somebody.
definitely their weapon. Andy Dalton to the Bears.
I don't like that one.
Well, they swung and they missed. They tried to give up a lot of stuff to try to trade for Russell Wilson, and the Seahawks did not choose to do that trade.
Good job, Seattle.
Yeah, well, that's still an issue. We'll have to talk about that at some point, but that appears to still be an issue. Juju Smith-Schuster apparently turns down money from like the Ravens and the Chiefs and goes back to Pittsburgh. Gets like a 1-year deal with Pittsburgh. We'll see how that goes. I don't
turn down the Chiefs.
Yeah, supposedly. I don't know that for sure, but supposedly he does that. I don't necessarily love it. I think Juju spends too much time dancing and TikToking than he does actually playing. Plus, his quarterback is aging pretty rapidly. Sammy Watkins signs with the Ravens. What do you think of that?
Yeah. They
needed what? Someone. You like that?
Baltimore needed that.
Yeah.
They have no one.
I know they got Hollywood Brown, but that's it. He hasn't played very well. So if Sammy still has enough in the tank, we haven't seen him a ton the last couple of years in Kansas City. I mean, he was doing stuff, but the bright shining stars in Kansas City have been Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. So he's been there, but he's been more of a role player. So let's see if he can play first overall. Mitch Trubisky takes a backup spot for the Bills. What do you think of that? You don't like that?
Not for Trubisky.
Well, where else would he have gone?
I'm not sure.
There weren't many other spots, and there was definitely not anybody.
He could try to go to Cincinnati. Their quarterback.
They have Joe Burrow.
He's still hurt.
Yeah, but he's going to be back.
You're going to get at least a couple of weeks worth of playing time.
Nah, I don't know about that. I think they said Joe Burrow's ahead of schedule, so he might be ready to go. Kyle Rudolph goes to the Giants, giving Daniel Jones another weapon. Kenyon Drake going to the Raiders.
Come on,
I don't know, man. That hurts Josh Jacobs fantasy-wise. I'm kind of like...
Come on, Gruden.
I don't know what Gruden's technically doing. We'll have to talk to Uncle Chris about that, because the Raiders signed Kenyon Drake, but they also signed Ngakoue for their defensive line, admitting that they really missed on that Cleveland Farrell pick a couple years ago out of Clemson. They really missed on that draft pick. That hurts him.
That's good signing.
Curtis Samuel goes to the Redskins, giving them a number 2 next to McLaurin.
Yeah. They're steadily building.
Who did they just sign? Ryan Fitzpatrick signed with the Washington football team. I even wrote Redskins on my sheet. I even wrote Redskins. I really got to stop doing that. It's
been a whole season, Dad. Come on.
I know, but my entire life it was one word. Now it's something else, and I'm readjusting. But now Ryan Fitzpatrick, who will throw the ball downfield without a doubt, has got McLaurin and Curtis Samuel on the other side. That's really good for them. Seahawks, they finally get Russell Wilson, athletic tight end, and Gerald Everett. I was sad to see Joe Thuney leave the Patriots. He and Kyle Long signed with the Chiefs, maybe anchoring their interior linemen. I don't know what they're going to do at tackles, because they're still missing, but they released both tackles, Schwartz and Eric Fisher. So
after that Super Bowl, I would too.
Well, they were hurt. They didn't even play the Super Bowl. They were both hurt. So they had to get new ones, but they saved some money there. Trent Williams for the 49ers signs the biggest contract of any offensive lineman in history. At like 33 years old, he signs a 6-year, mega $100 million deal.
Yeah.
From what I understand, he's very freaky, athletic. So,
he's good and all, but that's a long time. He's already 33. He'll be like 40.
He'll be 39. That's how that 6-year deal at 33 years old. 6 years, that would be 39. You're taking high school math. You should be able to do 33 plus 6.
We do nothing but graphs.
Do I need to put it on a graph for you to figure it out?
Yes.
Shut up. We see the Jets. The Jets finally made some moves. They They signed Carl Lawson, and then they also signed wide receiver Corey Davis. So they get some pass rush and maybe get a number 1 receiver. I don't know if Corey Davis is technically a number 1. I guess he's going to be their number 1.
He will be in New York.
Yeah, it's putting him next to Denzel Mims, and maybe if they keep Jameson Crowder, depending on the cost.
Finally, someone Darnold could throw to.
Yeah. Corey Linsley leaves the Packers and goes to the Chargers. All pro center. I mean, Pro Bowl center. They lose him because they refuse to pay. I can understand why Aaron Rodgers is always mad. And then,
Move on.
he can't. He's under contract.
Demand a trade.
You know how much dead money they'd have like $30 million of dead money. That's probably why they're not doing it.
Somebody give it.
And that's not what I mean. No matter if they trade him or not, the Packers would have dead money. It counts against the cap. And then Bud Dupree, coming off his injury, signs with the Titans, giving them a pass rush that they've been looking for if he can get healthy. Okay.
I like that one.
You and I are now going to get to our biased portion of the coverage of free agency, okay?
Hooray.
Our biased portion. We're going to discuss our team. You and I are both Patriots fans. We're going to discuss everything that we saw. Now, all right, I bypassed this, and I need to hit this. Tom Brady restructures his deal, and they managed to bring back everybody. Every starter from the Super Bowl team that they had, all 22 starters from the Super Bowl team are back for the Bucs.
Good job.
They managed to tag Chris Godwin, re-sign Leonard Fournette for like a 1-year, $4 million deal, and Ndamukong Suh comes back. They re-sign Shaq Barrett. They extend Levante David. They bring back everybody, and they still get draft picks this year. Shout out to them for doing something amazing. They have a chance to repeat and get Tom Brady's 8th. But now that we've said that,
my favorite.
Huh?
I have them as my favorite to win it all.
I can understand why.
If Brady can still throw.
He looks like he can. He looks pretty amazing for his age and what he's doing. All right, so now we get to our team, the Patriots. Okay, so we saw Patrick Chung retires. I don't blame him. He sat out last year with COVID related. He decided to sit out after playing 11 seasons. He's now decided to hang up his cleats and retire. So that means, Patrick Chung, when he was had his best in his prime, he was used to take away guys like Travis Kelce, Antonio Gates. He was used to take away the tight end and really, really headhunt in the middle. He was great at his job. Now we've lost him, so there's a big void to fill. We've lost a few guys here and there. Like I said, we lost Joe Thuney. We lost a few guys, but man, I want to talk about who they brought back. All right.
Let's go, Bills, spending all the money.
Dude, talk about, yes, dude, finally spending money. It's kind of weird. So they managed to re-sign center David Andrews. Man, that was huge. He was an undrafted guy that we managed to bring in, and Bill developed him through Dante Scarnecchia. Unbelievable offensive line coach. Miss him desperately. Brought back David Andrews the day after they signed Ted Karras, a former Patriot who had played 1 year in Miami. Bring him back to now have a backup center. They also bring back Kyle Van Noy, who I don't even know why he got cut in Miami. So now they got Kyle Van Noy back. They re-signed Nick Folk to kick. Then we see that they re-signed Dietrich Wise for the defensive line. They managed to somehow re-sign Lawrence Guy for our defensive line. Like I said, they brought back Cam Newton. They traded for Trent Brown. Huge for us last time we won the Super Bowl doing left tackle. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to play right tackle or left tackle. As a monster of a man. He's like 6'8", 6'9", 350 pounds. He's a beast. And then we start getting to the free agency stuff that we saw happen. He signs. We haven't had a tight end since Rob Gronkowski retired. And even at the end for Rob, he wasn't playing great. He signs 2 tight ends. He brings in Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, which is incredible to me. So it reminds me of the years. You weren't really paying attention to football that much at that time, but that reminds me of the time when they had Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski. That's what it's going to kind of look like to me. Jonnu Smith doing that more mobile tight end kind of look. They bring in Nelson Aguilar at wide receiver and Kendrick Bourne. Aguilar is going to be the deep threat. He's got the speed. If his hands work good, I'll never forget that clip that they have on the internet where the guy's talking about how they were throwing babies out this burning building. They were catching them. And the guy pauses, looks at the camera and in Philadelphia, looks at the camera and goes, unlike Aguilar. and looks at, oh my gosh, that if you've not seen that video, I need to send that to you and show that to you. But that is
Please
a
do
funny
it.
video. That's how much he was kind of, I guess, of a disappointment while in his time in Philly.
Who
But
wasn't in Philly?
well, true. But then he had a kind of a recovery year last year in Oakland. They bring in Jalen Mills, who's going to be kind of a versatile guy, probably play Patrick Chung's role. Matthew Judon. We get Matthew Judon from the
Woo!
Ravens for pass rush. Dude, I'm kind of excited about that.
Defense.
Yeah, right. Another guy, Davin Godshaw. I think I'm saying that right. I probably am saying that
I've
wrong.
never heard of them.
Right. I had not really heard of him either. He's from Miami as well, a nose tackle. So it looks like we're going to be able to play some more 3-4 this year. Actually, when you go on ESPN and look at the depth chart, now it's just projection. Bill likes to play multiple defenses, so just because they have projected to be a 3-4 does not mean they'll always be a 3-4. But imagine that 3-4 where they've also signed Henry Anderson from the Jets to play defensive line. So the projection for the defensive line was left end was like Lawrence Guy, right end Henry Anderson, and Godshaw in the middle. And then your linebackers were Judon, Hightower, Kyle Van Noy, and Jawan Bentley. And then you're going back to the back end. You got Gilmore and J.C. Jackson playing corner, maybe Jalen Mills.
And McCourty.
Jalen Mills, and it was maybe the McCourty brothers at the back end playing safety or something like that. Like, I'll be honest with you,
It's gonna look great.
I am very excited to see the team that he's put together. I think that we can compete with the Dolphins for second place in the division.
Not with Buffalo.
I am willing to admit, I'm willing to concede right now because Josh Allen is playing so good. If they can come back and play anything like they played this year, they're probably going to win the division. So we're probably playing for a wild card unless Cam blows it up. I mean, the style of offense that we have right now is going to look like we could do a lot of power run. We could do a lot of mixing and matching. It just depends on can Cam throw.
No.
I mean, I know he's not great at it. But, okay, so we also saw two trades yesterday. So we saw Miami. No, not Miami. Excuse me. Yes, Miami trade the number 3 pick. They trade the number 3 pick to the 49ers and drop all the way down to 12, and they get a couple first rounders and a third rounder and this kind of stuff. Miami was stockpiling picks there. Then Miami trades back up to 6, which almost didn't make sense, but they trade back up to 6. And now the Phillies down at 12. So now this is really playing around with some things here. So, all right.
Yeah.
Draft wise, all along, it's been Trevor Lawrence at number 1. There is no one else. Okay. That's everybody saying Trevor Lawrence number 1, no matter what.
I mean, that makes sense.
It makes sense. He's had a great 3 years at Clemson. We see Zach Wilson has an unbelievable pro day. Yesterday or the day before. Everybody's foaming at the mouth. It looks really like the Jets are going to take Zach Wilson at the 2. If they don't, I'll kind of be shocked. But it looks like they're going to take Zach Wilson at the 2. I don't know what that means for Sam Darnold. If they're going to hold on to him or if they're going to trade him. At this point, I don't think they're going to be able to get a first-round pick. I think they've waited too long. So the Jets could be doing that. Then we get to
Deshaun. Do it.
The Texans aren't willing to talk about a trade right now. So that's the only reason it probably hasn't happened. The Texans just aren't willing to do it. So now we get to the 3rd pick. The 49ers have it now. They got Jimmy G in the locker room as their starting quarterback at this moment, but it looks like the only reason you trade up and give up 3 first rounders is you're going to take a quarterback. You don't do that for Kyle Pitts or a wide receiver. So now it comes down to if Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson are off the board, you're the 49ers at the number 3 pick. You have 3 guys that you're potentially looking at. You've got Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and a lot of people are talking about Mac Jones at that 3rd pick. What do you think they should do?
Fields.
Fields?
Fields.
I could see it. I mean, that's the only reason I could see I've heard they're really fascinated with Trey Lance. I know that Kyle Shanahan is also likes Mac Jones, but there's no way in my mind that you trade up to the number 3 pick to get Mac Jones. I just don't believe.
Not for Mac Jones.
No, I don't believe that. So then if they take Mac, say they take Justin Fields, Atlanta's at 4. They need a quarterback long term. Matt Ryan restructured his contract, but he's still a lot of money. Should they take Trey Lance, or should they get Matt Ryan a weapon and try to win one, excuse me?
I think they're too far into the rebuild to try to go win it. I think you get the quarterback, yeah.
So then that would have them possibly taking Trey Lance, who's definitely not ready to play, so he'd be sitting.
But that's perfect.
That would be perfect. You know, Ryan's got one more year or two. And you got Trey Lance sitting, kind of pulling a Jordan Love, just chilling in the wings. You got the Bengals at 5. The Bengals at 5. They're probably going to take an offensive lineman, but they could potentially get a receiver or something. But say they take Penei Sewell at 5. Say they take Sewell at 5.
Can you say that name again?
Penei Sewell, the offensive tackle out of Oregon. You never, man. I got to get you on Mel Kiper's draft stuff.
Yeah, please do.
Okay,
I know no other player.
Say they take Sewell at 5, so they get a tackle to protect Joe Burrow. The Miami Dolphins have traded back in. Now they're back at 6. What should they do at 6? They just signed Will Fuller.
Take Mr. Heisman.
Really? All right, so that's your first receiver off the board is Devontae?
Mr. Heisman.
I don't know, man. I think he's too small. He's like
They need any receiver.
He's 175. He's 170 pounds. He weighs less than I do. Think about that. He weighs less than I do.
He weighs more than me, so.
Granted, I'm a little on the fat side at this point.
So weird now.
Yeah. I don't think you're supposed to be 5'9", 180, but whatever. We're working on it. Drinking a whole lot of water. This water bottle's massive. I'm getting sick and tired of seeing it.
It's bigger than my head.
It is, and your head is huge.
I can't deny it.
Yeah, you're a Michelson. You can't do that. Yeah. So then at 6, I don't think they should take Smith. I think they should take Jamar Chase. I really do. Or they should take Kyle Pitts. I think they need to take a true difference maker. I think
any of them work.
Devontae makes me think of Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson, when in his prime, was unbelievable, but
I don't know who that is.
What? You know who Deshaun Jackson is?
Oh,
man, I got to get you some tape on him. Let's just say that there's multiple videos of him with a touchdown in sight, dropping the ball at the half-yard line. Multiple clips of him doing that.
That reminds you of Mr. Heisman?
Well, just size-wise. It's size and speed what it comes down to.
If that's Deshaun Mr. Jackson, Heisman, don't take him.
Deshaun Jackson just signed somewhere. I can't think of where that is now.
Still in the league?
He's still in the league. He just signed somewhere. I got to look it up. I can't remember. So that's what's going on. I'm getting excited. Me and you, we're going to do a mock draft soon. Soon we get a little closer. I think we got about, 3 weeks, not quite 3 weeks until the NFL draft or something like that, mid-April. So we're going to have to make sure we do a competition, me, you, and Chris, and we'll put it out there. Anybody else who wants to get involved and see who can get the most picks right.
I bet you $1 I won't.
Are you putting money on it?
I'm saying I won't.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We tried to make me, you, and your brother, we tried to make a wager on the ACC tournament, and then two teams got knocked out with COVID, so we didn't even get to complete it. Because, I know I was going to win, but I just,
Nah.
Whatever.
I got the whole first round right.
Those are basically playing games. That doesn't even count. They were awarded 1 point apiece.
Them all right.
Did I get them all right? No, but I'm not worried about that. I knew I had the games down the line. That's what mattered. All right, man. Well, look, I had fun today. Did you have fun recording?
Absolutely.
All right. Tell the people bye. We'll see them next time.
I'm going to do it different every time.